Picture this. A 10-year-old boy, clutching a wooden rifle, marching in perfect formation through the streets of Berlin. His eyes cold, determined, fanatical. This isn't a game. This isn't pretend. This is 1938, and this child believes he's saving Germany. By 1939, over 8 million German children had joined Hitler's youth movement. 8 million. That's more kids than the entire population of New York City today. But here's the terrifying question that haunts historians. How do you turn an entire generation of innocent children into willing soldiers for evil? What you're about to discover will chill you to your core, because this didn't happen overnight. And it didn't happen by accident. To understand how Hitler captured an entire generation, we need to go back to 1918. Germany has just lost World War I. The country is broken, humiliated, starving. Imagine being a German child in 1920, watching your father come home defeated, your mother crying over empty cupboards, your neighbors burning money just to stay warm. This is the Germany Hitler found, a nation of wounded pride and desperate people. But here's what most people don't realize. German youth movements existed long before Hitler. For decades, German kids had been joining hiking clubs, camping groups, and patriotic organizations. It was tradition. It was normal. Hitler didn't invent youth movements. He hijacked them. In 1922, when Hitler was still a nobody shouting in beer halls, he created something called the Jugendbund, just 18 members, 18. But Hitler understood something terrifying about human psychology. Children don't question what feels like belonging. They don't resist what feels like purpose. And in a Germany where millions of kids felt abandoned by a world that had crushed their country, Hitler offered them something their parents couldn't: hope, identity, and the promise that they, the next generation, would restore Germany's greatness. By 1925, his youth movement had a new name, Hitler Youth, and the children started coming, first dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. But the real explosion was yet to come. January 30th, 1933, Hitler becomes Chancellor of Germany, and everything changes. Within months, the Hitler Youth isn't just an option anymore, it's everywhere. Picture walking through any German town in 1934. Every street corner has a poster of blonde children in crisp uniforms, smiling, strong, and proud. Youth serves the leader blazoned across their faces. These aren't just advertisements, they're psychological warfare. But the posters were just the beginning. Hitler appointed a 27-year-old fanatic named Baldur von Schirach to lead the Hitler Youth. His mission was clear: capture the child, and you capture the future. Schirach knew children craved adventure, so he gave them camping trips but taught them to march. He knew they loved games, so he created competitions proving racial superiority. He knew they respected authority, so 14-year-olds led 10-year-olds. Schools became recruitment centers. Teachers checked non-members. Imagine being the only kid in class without the uniform, the shame, the isolation. By 1936, membership was mandatory. Every child 10 to 18 had to join. The real brainwashing happened at the camps. Children spent weeks away from parents. No outside voices, just training and ideology. They learned racial education, measuring skulls, memorizing Hitler speeches. They practiced throwing grenades with wooden sticks. For now, every night, they sang songs about dying for the fatherland. Children singing about death like it was glorious. Why did the kids believe it? Why did millions of young minds accept this programming? Here's what Hitler understood about children that most adults miss. The teenage brain isn't fully developed. The part that questions authority, that thinks critically, that says, wait, this doesn't seem right. It doesn't mature until age 25. Hitler was exploiting biology itself. But it gets worse. Children have an overwhelming need to belong, to be accepted, to feel important, and Hitler gave them all three. In the Hitler Youth, A baker's son could outrank a banker's daughter. A poor farm boy could become a leader. Status wasn't about your family's money anymore. It was about your devotion to the cause. For the first time in their lives, these kids felt powerful, special, chosen. And here's the most chilling part. They genuinely believed they were the heroes of their own story. They weren't joining evil. In their minds, they were saving Germany, protecting their families, building a better world. Evil never presents itself as evil. It presents itself as righteousness. But then, 1939 arrived, war, and suddenly those wooden rifles became real ones. Those practice grenades became deadly weapons. 16-year-old boys who had been playing soldier were now dying as soldiers. By 1943, the Hitler Youth weren't just supporting the war effort. They were the war effort. Children operating anti-aircraft, guns, 15-year-olds fighting Soviet tanks with nothing but explosives strapped to their backs. The same kids who had sung songs around campfires were now dying in frozen trenches. And the most heartbreaking part, even as Berlin burned around them in 1945, even as their perfect world crumbled, many of these young people still believed, still fought, still died for a lie. One Hitler Youth member, captured near the end of the war, said something that haunts historians to this day. We thought we were the good guys. 8 million children, an entire generation, lost not to bullets or bombs, but to the most dangerous weapon of all, a lie that felt like truth. Today in 2025, you might think this could never happen again, that we're too smart, too connected, too informed. But are we? Every day, millions of young people scroll through social media algorithms designed to show them exactly what they want to see. Echo chambers that reinforce their beliefs, that make them feel special, chosen, right? Sound familiar? The tools have changed, but the psychology remains the same. Those 8 million German children weren't monsters. They weren't born evil. They were kids who wanted to belong, kids who wanted purpose, kids who trusted the adults in their lives, and those adults failed them. Teachers who turned classrooms into recruitment centers, parents who didn't ask enough questions, neighbors who looked the other way, politicians who thought they could control extremism for their own gain. But here's what we can learn. Question everything, especially the voices that tell you that you're superior to others, especially the messages that divide the world into us versus them, especially the promises that sound too good to be true. Because the scariest truth about the Hitler Youth isn't that it happened in Germany. It's that it could happen anywhere, to any generation, in any era. When people stop thinking for themselves, when belonging becomes more important than truth, when fear becomes stronger than compassion, the only thing standing between civilization and chaos is you. Your willingness to question, your courage to stand up, your refusal to let history repeat itself. Those 8 million German children can't be saved, but the children of today and tomorrow still can. The question is, what will you do with that responsibility? Because the future is watching, and history is waiting to see if we learned anything at all.